Hey guys, it's your boy on wheels, CT Barry, coming at you for the review of Wrestlemania. So, we had 2 nights of Wrestlemania, and I enjoyed both shows. I definitely thought night one was better, but I swear, and people were probably going to roast me for this because everybody's so mad about it. I think the best match of the night was the Hell in a Cell. That was the damnedest Hell in a Cell match I have ever seen. And I know everybody wanted Finn to win, but I'm an Edge head, so I was pretty happy to see Edge come out with the victory. And I really wish Asuka would have won the Raw Women's title, but I love Bianca. She's a hell of a champion. She's a hell of an ambassador. And talking about the ambassador for a moment, I was watching the WrestleMania press conference, and Triple H came out to talk about, like what went into like the story behind Roman and Cody, because somebody did ask him, like, how do you keep telling it after so many, days? And he mentioned with tears in his eyes, and I had water in my throat too when I heard this, the little girl that was dancing with Bianca Belair on stage, her mom died, yesterday morning. I still think it's Sunday on the West Coast, because the West Coast is 3 hours ahead of the East Coast, and the little girl's mom died this morning. So for WWE to come and do that for her on one of the worst days of her life makes me incredibly proud to be a wrestling fan, because I know AEW's done, what all they've done for John Huber's son Brody after John tragically passed away. And WWE's done countless Make-A-Wish events, and this is why I love the business of wrestling. I think it is one of the most charitable forms of entertainment that we have in the world today, in my personal opinion. So I would like to send a special shout out and prayers to that little girl and her family. I know what it's like to lose someone that you love very much, and it's not an easy thing to go through. And and I remember when my friend Doug passed away, the night after I said my final goodbye to him, Top Notch Wrestling Alliance, who I've talked about on this channel numerous times, had a show that night, and man, that was just the escape I needed for that week of hell that I had to live, after losing someone like Doug that I love very much. And it's good that, wrestling provides, and just about anything really, provides an outlet for somebody to escape whatever trouble that they're going through in their life. Just for a few hours of entertainment makes it remarkable. Whether it's a book, whether it's a movie, a TV show, video games, life can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. And, I find it awesome that there's so many outlets we can use to escape the harsh world that surrounds us today. But enough of that little spiel. Let's get back into the WrestleMania talk. I just wanted to address that real quick. Brock versus Omos. I mean, everybody kind of knew that match was going to be eh. Because, I mean, you know, and honestly, that's the best I've seen Omos look, you know, since he started in WWE, but, yeah, I don't really have much to say about that match. Now, that Seth Rollins-Logan Paul match was lights out. I mean, say what you want about Logan Paul. I mean, I know the dude's done tons of controversial shit throughout his life. But he has proven that he belongs in a wrestling ring. I mean, the dude can go. And, you know, somebody as highly touted and as highly respected as Seth Rollins is in the wrestling business, I mean, those two had a hell of chemistry in the ring. And, you know, in my opinion, that was one of the top two matches of Saturday night. But I do think the one that topped that was Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. I mean, you know, and you could just see the smile on Charlotte's face, you know, because this wasn't, you know, 2020, you know, when Rhea was still coming up in the business. You know, Rhea has definitely established herself as a star, and I think the Judgment Day has really helped her with that. And I think she's going to be a hell of a women's champion. Though personally, I would have loved to see her and Bianca go at it. Because, you know, they were the final two in the Rumble when Bianca won it. And, you know, I just think that would have been a hell of a story. But, you know, I think both women's championship matches were solid. Now, Sheamus versus Drew versus Gunther. I wanted Sheamus to win. I wanted him to win that Grand Slam title, but I love all three of those guys, and that was just some good old-fashioned British wrestling. I mean, those guys literally beat the living hell out of each other, and I thought that match was an absolute barn burner. And I really hope to see Sheamus eventually win the IC title. Because honestly, like, in my personal opinion, here's how I would have booked it. You know, we had John Cena versus Austin Theory earlier in the night. And, you know, from my last video, I mentioned I wanted John Cena to win. But, you know, John's that charitable guy. He loves to put people over. So how I would have done it is I would have had Sheamus win the triple threat for the IC title, John Cena win the United States title, and then tonight on Raw, have him come out and do an open challenge and have Drew come out and beat him for the U.S. title. Because if you think about it, that's the only title that's eluded Drew. And, you know, and I think Drew and Sheamus would have really been able to elevate those mid-card titles. And, you know, the two showcase match, the men's tag team match was absolutely incredible. There was some hella spots in that match. But the women's one, you know, that was there just to make Ronda and Shayna look dominant. I mean, I think anybody could have predicted that one. Which, I mean, I'm not mad about it. You know, I think Ronda and Shayna would make a good pair of tag team champions, because I think the Becky Lynch and Lita thing will come to an end soon, because, you know, Lita's, you know, semi-retired, so I don't think they're going to have a long reign. I think that was just to help build the Damage Control story. I wish Damage Control would have won it. You know, I mentioned I thought Trish or Lita would take the fall, but I get it. Becky's the star, which I love Becky Lynch. So I don't really care, but I do agree that I think it's time for Damage Control to go their own separate ways. I mean, Io Sky will be a hell of a star in the women's division. It would have been awesome to see Asuka win the title and have her feud with Io. That would have had a killer story, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe Io will take the title off Bianca. Who knows? Let's see here, and then we got the Well, I'll talk about Ray versus Dawn first. I thought the entrances were awesome. I mean, Ray coming out to Eddie's music, that was a tearjerker. And I thought Dawn was going to win it, but I actually like it better that Ray won, putting the young Punk in his place. And I think Dawn will eventually, come to his senses and reunite with Ray. Because I think the Judgment Day's done its time, too. I think it's time for them to go off and be stars. And, as we've seen with Rhea, I don't know. I mean, Finn, Finn could be a good mid-card champion. Damien, I don't know what you'd really do with him. I'm not sure. But, so yeah, there's my thoughts on that. So, let's get into the main event I'll talk about the tag team title match, and then I'll talk about Roman and Cody. So, I think everybody knew that Sami and Kevin was going to win. But dear God, that match was a barn burner. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm doing this all in one take, so there's going to be no editing, so anyway, so that match, like I said, was a barn burner. I mean, back and forth action. I mean, they made Sami look like a real freaking star in that match. And it was just absolutely incredible. One of my favorite matches of the weekend. I wonder how the Bloodline's going to go. Because, I mean, I did read that maybe, because Roman will berate them for losing. And then, they'll turn on Roman at some point. Which people are saying Jey Uso needs to dethrone him. I don't know. Jey and Jimmy are a lifelong tag team, in my opinion. That's all I'm going to say about that. I think they belong solely in the tag division, But kind of like Imperium in a way, like Vinci and Kaiser, I think they make a better team than they would singles wrestlers. So, let's talk about Roman versus Cody. It was debated all over the internet all week. It's like, they're going to let Roman cross the 1,000-day threshold. No, Cody's going to win it. Well, it looks like by results of tonight, they're letting Roman cross the 1,000-day threshold. So, which, I'm not. Everybody's like saying, screw WWE, I'm done. I'm not gonna watch it anymore. This sucks. Bro, you know damn well you're gonna watch Monday Night Raw tomorrow, just like me. Everybody's going there crying like, Vince is back in charge. No, he's not. Triple H was literally on the damn press conference tonight talking about booking. But hell, there's plenty of people that cry about AEW too. I've had my fair share of criticism about AEW, but I don't hate it. I give criticism where I feel it's needed. I watch pro wrestling because I love the sport. I'm not a WWE mark. I'm not an AEW mark. I'm a freaking wrestling fan. That's what I do. And I don't care if it's Vince booking it. I don't care if it's Triple H booking it. I don't care if it's Tony Khan. Hell, it could be freaking Mickey Mouse for all I give a damn. I'm still going to watch it because I'm a fan of the sport. So, yeah, I just put all that negativity in the rear view. Because it's the same old song and dance every freaking pay-per-view. But, so, I don't know who will take the belt off of Roman. I don't know if they're going to keep building the Cody story because, it literally took everybody on the bloodline to beat him. So, I don't know about that. But we'll just have to wait and tune in to Monday Night Raw tomorrow. And there's rumors on the table that Endeavor, the company that owns the UFC, has purchased the WWE. Somebody did ask the question tonight, but Triple H did not address it, so maybe we'll find out in the morning. Maybe I'll wake up and it'd be all over the internet that Endeavor has bought WWE, which, hey, that means I get to watch more UFC fights on streaming subscription with WWE, then, hey, I'm all for it. Just don't go back to where it's buying $60 pay-per-views, please. AEW, TNA, I would say Ring of Honor, but it's under the AEW umbrella. Take notes. That's what you need to do. You have Impact Plus. Just put all the shows on there. And then Tony, either put it all on Honor Club, or hell, you gotta deal with freaking Warner. Have HBO Max do it. Like, come on, dude. I mean, I promise, people are gonna watch. So, that's all I really gotta say about WrestleMania. This video's already over 17 minutes. So, I'll talk about my review of TWA in another video. So, with that in mind, I will talk to you guys in the next one.